Hey YouTube, I just wanted to shoot a quick follow-up video. This is not a Byrdland. Okay, we've gotten that out of the way. Oh my goodness, I got this guitar recently. This is a an IYV IJZ500. It's their big body jazz box, and it is a true hollow body electric guitar. There is no center block, and it has the 4-inch depth of a true acoustic. So if you are wanting to lean into the old style hollow body where you are basically bolting electronics from an electric guitar onto an acoustic with the acoustic setting in terms of the way that it's set up very low. These are generally, as a group, known often as jazz boxes, okay? But in my recent video about it, when I was just unboxing it, the reason that it caught my eye, okay, the reason that it caught my eye, let me repeat that a third time. The reason that it caught my eye was its aesthetic similarity to a Byrdland. So I just, titled my video, Byrdland on a Budget, ? And if you actually watch the video, I say, no, it's not. It's just that's the association in my brain, whether it is a good or bad association. That was the association that led me to purchase this guitar. Was my, I've noticed the Byrdland over the years. I think it's a cool model, and it has a more distinctive flair in terms of it's got associations with various artists and so forth. And because of that, it is the recognizable model in that family, and the connection in my brain was what led me to pull the trigger on this guitar. So I understand that the Byrdland is thin and thinner again. I get that. I get these things. I also am not a Gibson, expert in any way. I don't own any Gibsons, and everything that I'm working off of is basically reading forums and listings and that sort of thing. So I am, I know a lot more, generally speaking, about Fenders. Look around my room and you can see what I've leaned more heavily into in my guitar journey. But there is something special about those very early electric guitars where they were trying to adapt the acoustic guitar to a true electric setup, not putting the piezo, transducers and that sort of thing in it, but rather having actual, like, this is a double humbucker setup with your 4-way knobs and your switch and everything, and the playability of an electric, but you still get these amazing warm tones. Amazing. Now, this is unplugged. This is just the acoustic. Beautiful tones out of it. And the finish on it was, I understand this is a budget guitar. And so I'm not looking at this like I would look at a $10,000 out of the box guitar. Not that I'll ever buy one. That's just not in my wheelhouse economically or just, otherwise. I don't have that money to spend on a guitar, and I would be terrified of what would happen to that guitar because I just don't have this kind of money to throw into an investment like that. I do, however, have a couple $100, or at least a couple $100 of credit that I can squeeze out down the road. But this is less than the taxes off of just pick your choice of that era of guitars, an ES, a Byrdland, whatever. Okay, these kind of guitars, the 40s and 50s jazz boxes. Okay. And obviously, you're not going to be able to get your hands on one unless it is just absolutely trashed. And so, I understand this is an Asian-made budget guitar. I understand all of these things about it. And the really funny thing that just cracked me up about the response was this one guy in particular. He wrote this long thing. He says he's his tag is the worst man on earth. Okay, well, this ought to be interesting. And he had a lot of valid points, but many of those points I made in the video. And so I just said, yeah, yes, you're right. I say these things in the video. And he says, I don't need to watch the video. And then continues into ranting on me. I'm like, then what are we doing here? This is YouTube. Are you watching my video, or are you just, ranting into the wind and shaking fists at clouds? I mean, what are we doing here? So, you know, say thank you, have a very nice day, but I don't think this is the channel for you. I've got 50 years experience in music stuff. That's great. You know, this is for people that are on budgets, people with kids. You know, I got 3 kids. I'm clergy. I'm not rolling in the money. I'm not making it rain. So the fact that I can put my hands on this guitar at this price, that I can bring this home, that it can be delivered to my doorstep, and that I am just stunned by it, that is the final result of all this. That, yeah, I get that I get all of these things about it. You know, I'm not an expert on ESs and Gibsons in general, and Gibson hollows and semi-hollows in particular. I'm not. It's just my mental association was that this reminded me of the Byrdland, reminded me of that era of guitar which it typifies. And because of that, I said, ooh, you know, and then Amazon's like, here's a nice big fat coupon to lay on you. Like, I'm gonna, and off it went. And I am just stunned by it. You know, yeah, I could use more buffing, and I found a tiny little, you know, paint dot right here on the clear coat where there was a little teeny bit of, you know, and I buffed it down with my buffing wheel, and, you know, I can put a little bit of finishing that was sacrificed in order to get this to me. I can put that into it, but the build quality on this is fantastic, and you cannot, you know, say that this is not a gorgeous guitar. Is it perfect? No. But it is absolutely a gorgeous build and finish, and it sounds great, and it plays great. I think when I get back into leading music again, this is going to be one of my go-to guitars, because I always liked the warmth and the chords, how they sound, the jangle, so to speak, on an acoustic, but I don't like playing the action of an acoustic near as much. I much prefer the electric, and so I've dwelled in that semi-hollow range. The Wildcat was one of my favorites in that. I've got a review on my Wildcat, my Epiphone Wildcat. Awesome guitar, one of my favorites. For that in-between space where it plays like an electric, but it's still got acoustic warmth. This is even further over into the acoustic while still having the electric neck set up, strings and everything. And so, you know, it is what it is. I think it's tremendous. I am truly amazed by it. And it's just funny to me how controversial the association, because that's all it was. I was saying it was an association in my mind that this reminded me of this, and so I bought it, and guess what? I love it. And I couldn't even, you know, pay the taxes off of a real Byrdland, so it's just not in my realm of possibility. This was in my realm of possibility, and I think my viewership primarily are going to be looking at guitars that they might actually purchase without having to take out some huge loan or whatever, or, you know, just drop 5 figures. It's just not in most of our possible universes, okay? This, however, if you are thinking about one of these, and I'm not sponsored to, I don't know if I've made that clear prior or now, I'm not sponsored, okay? They did not send this to me. In fact, after I had contacted them after my first Inian Vena review, they said they don't sponsor, you know, this sort of thing. They don't sponsor reviews because they like to just get the feedback as honest, and, you know, they just let their product speak for themselves. It is what it is. Is it perfect? No. But is it high quality? Absolutely. Does it play great? Does it look great? I mean, you have to be incredibly, incredibly nitpicky in order to take anything down other than, yes, okay, it is not a Byrdland. Thank you, Internet, for telling me that which I already knew. I mean, I'm just, you know, riffing off this because it's hilarious to me. And you know, one of the things about my channel that I hope my community is understanding is that it is, and I hesitate to use the word safe space because of all the political connotations, but it is a space where we are going to uplift each other. And if anybody comes in just raining on parades, that's what you know, when my kids, one of them will be saying something like they enjoy something, and I said, don't rain on their parade. Like, just, whether you think it's cool or not, whatever, let them have it. That is the same, you know, ethos, that is the community spirit that I am trying to build on the channel. Do I welcome feedback and criticism? And yes, absolutely, as long as it is supportive in the sense of being uplifting. And yeah, I mean, I'm not perfect on anything. I don't play perfectly. I don't think perfectly. I don't do anything. I don't speak perfectly. I'm not a perfect being. None of us are. And, you know, I try to just be authentic with my channel, and the community that's building up around it, I'm absolutely just so happy and so proud to get to know all of y'all, because we can lift each other up in the process. And if that's not your thing, to be uplifting, you want to go around and, you know, poo-poo, there are almost limitless other guitar channels you are welcome to go do that on. It is not welcome here.